How's it going? I'm Oval. I've been asked how I do lip syncing, so I'm going to show you how I lip sync in Adobe Animate. Okay, so this is our software here. This is what I use. At the moment, I've got a document open here. As you can see, it shows about 8 different mouths. These are the mouths that I use when I'm lip syncing my cartoons. 8 in total, and these 4 mouths are your primary mouths. These are the ones that you'll be using the most. As for these ones, these are more of the complementary ones for words that aren't really used that often. Okay, each one of these I have drawn out myself, and I've converted them to a symbol. What I mean by that is, so if I draw a shape here, for example, and if I hover over that, so highlight that, right click, convert the symbol, call this rectangle, and I have that saved as a graphic, always a graphic, and hit OK. That means that I can move this object around without it being distorted in any way. And if I wanted to change the shape of it, I just double click on the object. So now I'm inside of the object, and I can then distort it whatever way I want, basically. Okay. So yeah, each one of these are all like that, essentially. And like I said previously, I drew out all of these. You can draw these out yourself if you want to use this. And basically just copy the design so you've got an idea of how these are to look. You can. To me, it's common sense as to what they would look like, but it's if you need it, then go ahead, it's right there. So I'll be using these mouths for this tutorial, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to start up a new document. So File, New, and I'm just going to keep this the same, so just the Full HD 1920 by 1080, 30 frames per second, keep all that the same. Normally it is 24 frames per second for animation or 25 frames per second for film, but for this I keep my stuff at 30 just because it just looks smoother. So I've got my document over here, and first I'm going to draw a circle. Basically, I'm going to be drawing a head. Okay, so I'm clicking on this, and when you right click on this, it'll bring up these options here. So I'm going to go to the oval tool, and I'm going to hold down shift and drag this out like so. Holding down shift gives you a perfect circle, because otherwise you don't do that and it's just yeah, it's going to be like that essentially. So got my circle here. I want to change this, so I'm going to clicking on the outline here, and I'm going to drag this, go over to stroke size, drag this out a bit. So I've got a real thick line. This is normally, I've been trying to make my cartoons more with really thick lines, and I want to also change the color of the head. So yeah, clicking on this, and I'm going to come over to here, and I'm going to just play about with this and change the color to a bit of a more Caucasian skin color, basically. So like so. Okay, and like I did previously with the mouths, highlight this whole thing, right click, convert to symbol, and I call this head. And okay, so now we've got the head, and with that in place, it won't distort, it's stayed the way I want it to be. And next I'm going to add my audio. So I'm going to go to the 10th frame here. So this is your timeline up here, and I'm going to right click, insert keyframe, and there's nothing in these at the moment, so they're blank, they look like this, whereas whenever there is something in the timeline, it looks more like this. Okay, so highlight that, I'm going to go up to File, Import to Library, and I'm going to select Audio. So I've already recorded the audio that I'm going to be using. You can record your own audio, it doesn't really matter what type of software you use. If you're wanting something that can record it at a decent quality that's free, I would recommend using Audacity, which is this. This is, like I said, completely free, and yeah, you can pretty much do whatever you want with it. Okay, so with this already in, I'm going to click on the keyframe where I want the audio to start, and I'm going to go to Sound over here, and we're clicking this. Here's my sound, and there we go, keeping that there. It's at stream, that's where I want it, and I'm going to drag this out. So if I click on this keyframe here, so insert keyframe, this is how the audio stops at about here. So I'm just going to remove the rest of this, so highlighting this and remove frame. Okay, so we've got our audio here, and we're going to start with the lip syncing. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to click on this file, and I'm going to click this mouth, copy, and I'm going to right click, paste, and I'm just going to drag this over here. Now it's gone into the wrong layer, so I'm going to cut this and make sure that it's in the correct layer, and then I'm going to paste in place. Pasting in place basically means that it's going to go exactly where it was previously on the screen. So okay, so the first mouth change is whenever it comes to this part here. So I'm going to right click and insert keyframe here, and it's judging by the word, so it's an and word. It's and, so I'm going to be getting the wide open mouth. So click on this one and copy, and then I'm going to paste, and I'm gonna align this to where it should be, just over the previous mouth, and I'm gonna be clicking on this free transform tool here, so I get better control over this, and I'm gonna hold down shift and just drag this in slightly to make it just a bit smaller, like so. And with the previous mouth still there, I'm going to click on that, and I'm going to hit backspace. Okay, so now you can see that we've now got the mouth changing there. And I'm going to start with, so first word is and it sounds like it takes up the space of these 4 frames here. So this frame here is where it starts to change. So I'm going to go right click, insert keyframe there, and I'm going to get this mouth here, paste in place, and same thing as before, just drag this down, make it smaller. I'm just going to change the rotation a wee bit, and I'm going to click on the previous mouth and delete. So we've got this now. Same thing again, insert keyframe, and I'm going to grab this mouth, like so, And the only thing I'm doing with the when I move it around slightly is I'm just using the arrow keys basically to bring that around. So you're just making the slightest adjustment, like move rather than having to literally grab the thing and drag it over. Okay. So now if I click that, backspace. So now we've just animated our first word. Okay. Now for the next one, it starts about here. So insert keyframe here, and I'm gonna get the TH mouth. Should be, oh yeah, TH mouth or the L mouth. So that this basically is the word. One with the tongue out. Still a bit big. I'm going to make that smaller, like so. And okay. Now the rest of the word uses the same mouth movements as the first word we had. So to save any hassle, I'm just gonna highlight all of these, and I'm gonna right click copy frames, and from here I'm just gonna click, right click, and paste frames. And as you can see, it's already put the word there for us. And with the next word, same thing, just gonna do it again. So paste frames. Now it's not as long as the other words, so I'm going to click on this here where there's a double frame, basically that's what that is, and I'm going to right click on that one and remove the frame. Now for the next word, if you haven't already noticed, I have arguably a rare accent compared to most. So how I pronounce certain words is different to other people. So for example, with this word, we're using the word how. So I say how instead of how. In this scenario, there would be, for most people who are using the word how, they would be using two different mouths, but for myself, because I say how, I would only be using one mouth. So I'm just going to copy and paste this. The only movement that I've actually done is the mouth, so I'm safe to just copy this entire keyframe. So if I paste this in here, and this is from here, I'm gonna go insert keyframe, and I'm gonna get the R mouth. Kind of make that smaller and just drag it in from here. So you would be still using this mouth, but it's more of a transition mouth for anyone who's saying the word how. Whereas I would end on that mouth myself personally, with how I pronounce things. So here, I'm just going to go insert keyframe, and I'm just going to make this slightly smaller, like so. So I've now got the how. For anyone else who's doing how, instead of using the same mouth, you would be using this mouth and adding that in. Okay. Alright, now for the next bit, copy and paste this to here. Paste frame. And I'm going to grab this mouth, copy frames, paste it about here. and get this mouth, copy frames, paste.
This is how I
It's just this is all I do. Just repeat this. As soon as you get the main parts in, you just repeat it. And the same thing with before. I say do instead of do. So I'll be just keeping that mouth, whereas you'd be putting in the extra. And from here, I'm gonna be using just these three. Copy and paste. Now there is a part at the end where I say I'm like do it. So with that extra wee bit, I'm going to just click on this final mouth, and I'm gonna just gonna make it slightly larger. So I'm holding down Shift and just make it slightly. That's been a wee bit. Try that, see how that looks. Okay, yeah, that's grand. I'm gonna keep that going for 2 frames, and then I'm gonna bring the first mouth that we had at the end. So paste, and to finish this off, I'm gonna go to about 3 seconds here, and I'm gonna go right click and insert keyframe. And now if we play this back, and this is how I do it. Okay, that looks alright. One thing is that it is not completely in sync with the audio, and this is how I do it. And the reason for that is naturally when we're looking at it, even though whenever you're animating through it, it looks like it is in sync. Playing it back, I think that is just the way we naturally, our brains perceive it. I don't really know, but to make this fit exactly in sync, you're going to highlight up here, or even here, it doesn't really matter. So if you're highlighting here, you delete 2 or 3 frames, but if you're highlighting the audio part, you insert frames. And in doing that, if we play this now, and this is how I do it. As you can see, it is in perfect sync. And this is how I do it. And this is how I do it. Last thing to do is save it. So I'm going to show you how to save it. I will not be saving this personally. This is just a test. But if you want to save your work, which I'm sure you will, here's how you do it. So File, Save As, and it'll show up a window somewhere. And just name your file Save. No problem. Easy enough. And if you're wanting to export it, you just go to File, Export, and Export Video / Media. It's going to bring up this window here, and make sure that it's on format as QuickTime.move, and the default is Animate, so that's fine. And this is where you'll be saving it. So if you click on this envelope icon here, then this will let you see where you can save it. And then once you're happy, click save, and then that's you, and then just hit export, and there we go. That's it done. Thanks for watching. If you've liked what you've seen, then click the like button, subscribe. If there's anything that you need to know how to do, if I know, just comment, let me know, and if I know how to do it, I can make a video on it. But yeah, in the meantime, have fun animating, and cheerio.